Oh, it's Guido coming at you with the tactics talk. Get out of the way, Scorpion. Get over it. Get. Is that my fault? I think so. I think he had it right away. I'm almost out of coffee. What in the heck? We're going to talk about Outclassed and Outplayed, guys. It's been a tough week or so. I want to say I'm about, I don't know, in the last 3 or 4 days, about a 30% win rate. There was a point at which I was a 16% win rate or something like that on 30 battles. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I have these streaks every once in a while. I think we all do. So I just wanted to sort of show you this game and commiserate with you guys. At times you are going to find yourself with terrible results, even though you're playing decently. Now my win rate is not in the 3,000s, but it is in the 2,000s during this streak. Now that's lower. You know, if you really want to make a gross generalization, if you want to be really influencing your games, you need to be in about a 3,000 win 8 / WTR regime. I know that those two aren't exactly the same numbers, but the higher the better. Actually, WTR would be, what, 1,600, 1,700? Anyway, win 8, call it that, about 3,000. So I'm sitting in the 2,000s, and that's good, but generally, you know, bluish, blueberry, and that means that you're doing decent damage, but you may not really be positively influencing a lot of your games. Not on a regular basis. Now, we start off okay here. We got a Barask and myself taking on this guy. I'm going to miss this shot, I think. Does a decent job of trying to hide. Like, yeah, okay. I actually did get him. Okay, good. So we're working the top edge right here. And then kind of pay attention to what's going on down the south. This guy just charges and we're able to shut him down. That's a great start, though, for us. Although we did lose a Barask, a Grom, and a Lynx. Right? So outplayed and outclassed. When I looked at the relative skill in the players, it looked like the other team had quite a few more good players on it than ours did. I did not make an exhaustive search. And to be quite honest, it doesn't necessarily matter who has the good and bad players in terms of just the fact that they're good or bad players. Bad players can make good plays, but over time, the bad players will make less good plays. That's the bottom line with the skills thing. Which is why, you know, everyone says, well, on any given day, doesn't really matter what the skill of the player is. You know, everyone can have a good day. Well, that's true, but over time, the good players are going to have probably more good days. Now, we're actually doing okay here. We got it 5-4. A little bit outclassed down in the south in terms of tanks. We had a Forest Spirit here, the Barask, who has taken some hits, and we got a Scorpion. So a lot of our firepower is up here. Just think about this for a second. Here's the outplayed part, right? The outplayed part. We outplayed them in the north. That's great. We won't worry about the outclassed part. Doesn't matter at this point necessarily who's a good and bad player because we're winning up here. The question then becomes, once you win it, the decisions players make from there, and that's when it does matter whether or not they're good. Just check out what happens. So we're going to shut down the guard here. All right, good. Barask comes out of that with decent hit points. I think he gets hit here in just a second, though. We have a Forest Spirit, and the Scorpion G looks like he's headed back the other way. So where's all the danger? The danger, all the danger, it's all dangerous down in the south, right? And the even 90, he's a problem. Unfortunately, we're going to miss killing him a couple times, and that would have been good because he's a problem. We need to get rid of him. We do have a Hawk 30, and we're looking okay. Now, what would you do right here? Right? Here's the outplayed part. What's the worst thing you could do? Think of the worst thing you could do right here. I know you know what I'm going to say, but think of the worst thing you can do, and then watch how many of our players do it. Now, I don't know why, in what universe, somebody playing a Forest Spirit would push to their cap. We have a Kari, a Kalana, and an RHMB unspotted. I am promising you that 1 or 2, maybe 3, are near or on the cap. There's a cap. Sorry, this is a standard battle. I was going to say spawn, but it's actually cap. It's cap / spawn. They're over there, somewhere nearby. All right, we're going to head back this way, and I am going to flow back to where the hit points are, where the enemy is. That's the outplayed part. We got the Forest Spirit pushing. The Burr is, I think, maybe thinking about it. Maybe he's reloading. He did get hit, so he probably doesn't want to come out from around the corner and have somebody time a shot on him. And at least the Scorpion didn't go, but the Burr is now on his way. 1 Forest Spirit and 1 Barask would be really nice if they had just not pushed in there. So we're going to come over here, try to take a peek. Kind of expected the even 90 to see me. This was just an exploratory move. I would like to know if the even 90 is in the middle, but he's not, which is strange. Or he's over the edge. So I'm not 100% sure where he is. Could have been behind a rock, just no line of sight to me. I don't know. Come up here, take another peek, see if we can get some shots. The RHM has been spotted over on their cap, so at least he's there. Naturally, I was backing up when he gets spotted. I'm going to take a bit of a chance and come over here. Kind of expecting to get spotted by the ELC, at which point I'll cut to the right and get down below the dune. And unfortunately, he disappears. So we'll back out. And now, oh boy, okay, so that makes me feel like the even 90 is somewhere over there. Could have been something else, but honestly, looking at the tanks that they have, more than likely it was the even 90 poking up and over. He's in one of these bushes or behind one of these rocks or something. There goes the Hawk 30. Might have been the TM, I don't know, but he's down below a bit. Was thinking about HE for the RHM. Okay, don't see anything. Oh, there's the RHM again. The Baross gets a light on. Baross gets trapped. That's not good. Just stab one out there. There's no way that hit anything. You can see it went high on the rock anyway. There goes the Hawk 30 pushing in. And now we have the Scorpion looking that way. We have the Forest Spirit up there. There's the Kari. Probably should have shot that shot. Oof, a little to the left. Some indecision on my part. Wait for that to zoom in. Maybe we'll get a shot on him. There we go. That probably hit. So we got a little damage out of that guy. Meanwhile, the ELC has moved over to deal with the push, right? So ELC is over there spotting for the Kari and the RHM. And of course, they're going to push. So the Forest Spirit's going in. The Hawk. The Outplayed thing. So pause, fellas. Look. If the other team's better, I mean, that's an advantage at the beginning. But even if you're not objectively better, if you continue to make bad decisions, then you can take what is a winning picture, or at least a neutral picture, and completely throw it away with a bad push. Well, we're going to lose 3 tanks, maybe 4 over here. What do they expect? What is the expectation here? You're going to push up onto where an RHM and a Kari is, and you're not going to get shredded by a T-77 or an object or a 122 coming back. They're completely protected down here, right? They are playing punchy face with our guys down here in the south, but they can move back without any problem if they have to. There's also a Su-130 up top here, down in the southwest. Are we still missing something? And there's a Kalana. There's a Kalana not spotted somewhere, probably up on their sniper hill, more than likely. I tell you, fellas, this drives me crazy. Of all the things that people do in this game, oh, just barely missed that guy. The win a flank and continue to push in and throw away what was actually a fairly neutral game, to be honest. We were winning. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. They're all dead. The Scorpion lived. That's it. Just shredded the push. There's no way to push that cap down there, by the way, fellas, if there's enough guys up top. If you can't get down and underneath them before you die, which all those soft tanks can't do, you're not going to push that. Not in that situation anyway. You know, if we had pushed from the southwest down here and we're coming up behind them right here, right, where we had shot crossfire and we'd won the middle and we're pushing through there and they were all trying to camp on the cap, that's a pushable cap at that point. But if you look at the mini map, all you have to do is look at it and go, well, that's a one direction attack, right? One angle assault, and they've got it well defended. Even 90 was smart enough to come around there, lights them up, and they just all die. Of course, I have to say, just push them till you die. Good idea. Die-o to push. Die-o. I don't know, fellas. It's, it takes all kinds in this game. You've got 9-year-olds playing, probably, even though they're not supposed to, technically because of the age. Let's just say they're 13-year-olds. It doesn't matter, whatever the age is. You've got people who are just want to drive a tank and shoot. There's a lot of what-ifs. There's a lot of reasons. I wish I would have hit this shot, man. A lot of what-ifs, a lot of reasons why things may or may not work out in terms of the skill of the player. But I get slapped by that guy. But there's all too many players, I would say, that should know by now, that are actually, decent at video games, got the hand-eye coordination, otherwise, intelligent beings, and they just don't think about it. This is really an easy game at the end of the day. It really is an easy game. Probably not easy to be skill, right? Dez or one of those guys. That's not necessarily easy, but it is easy to be a mid 50% player or to have sessions where you're in the mid 50s. Okay, even if you're rocking a 48, 49% average, you should be able to crank out those 55 sessions fairly easily if you just apply a few very basic things to this game. And the most basic one is stop pushing into crossfire, into bushed up people. Just stop. Go somewhere else. Just look at the mini map and go, oh, well, that's probably not a good push right there. Let me swing around somewhere else and help on a different flank. You're not going to be the hero pushing in. That whole push was incredible. And generally, it's, in my opinion anyway, after all the years that I've been watching replays, I see this over and over. They win a flank and they keep pushing. And that sort of seems like a common sense thing in terms of how to win the game, right? Hey, I won my flank, let's keep winning my flank. But that's not how this game is played. It just isn't. The good players know how to find a different angle and not give away hit points. So in that case, you're just giving away hit points. Now, if there were 10 of them and 2 of them defending, then that might work. But if you took a look at the mini-map in this particular situation, just think for half a second, just stop. Quit Mongo, smash W forward for just a few seconds. Look at the mini-map, think about the situation and go, is that really the best push right now? And I've showed this example over and over and over again, and I'm really preaching to the choir, I think, to a lot of people. But every now and again, we get new people that are showing up, learning about the channel, trying to learn, all that good stuff. Just did a coaching session with somebody, and we talked about auto-aim, which might be something you would think about, well, there's not much to talk about. There's actually a whole bunch to talk about. And then when you start talking about actually the tactics of the game, on the one hand, the more experienced people go, oh, that's all very easy. Well, it's easy for us because we've seen it and we've done it, and that's a lesson we've learned. If you haven't really learned that lesson, you might go, yeah, you win your flank, you push in, you take the cap, and you win the game. Not so much. Not so much. There are many situations in this game where that simply doesn't work. And if you do that, you have actually decreased your chances of winning vice increase. So there you go. I don't know what to say. Sometimes I feel like I'm, old man shouts at clouds when it comes to these kinds of things. And a lot of times with learning things or being skilled at something, sometimes you have to relearn things or unlearn things you thought you knew, that kind of stuff. Just because you learned it one time doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be able to apply it every time. So it is a process. You will, on occasion, backslide a little bit and have to relearn it. I've gone through multiple examples of that in this game. But that being said, there's some really straightforward ideas in this game. There's only so much time to win. You can't cap unless you've set the conditions to cap. Just because you won a flank doesn't mean that you need to keep pushing into their cap to win the game. I mean, those might be the 3 most basic ones right there. And maintain your vote. Stop giving hit points away to people that don't deserve it. And I think the people who don't deserve getting your hit points the most in this game are people who stay on the enemy cap. They will be there later, more than likely. More than likely, they're content to sit there. Go where their aggressive players are and take them out. Go to the correct flank for your tank and your tactics and what you want to do and what you're seeing the rest of your team doing and they're doing. But once you win that flank, good on you. Now look at the minimap and go, all right, where's my tank best used next? It's probably not to continue into their cap unless you've just won every flank. That's about the only time I would just continue pushing. There is a small caveat for, we're losing everywhere. It's a complete massacre. My only possibility is maybe a fast cap, but that is such a small outlier. Generally, it's, I need to go somewhere else than push their cap. Let the campers sit at cap. They'll still be there. Kill their aggressive players. Help your tanks. Go where your guns are, right? Go where your guns are. Help them win, and then you can deal with the campers. And then it's easy because you got all kinds of crossfire and you're well outnumbered and all that good stuff. All right, fellas, that's all I've got. You have a great Friday, and we will see ya.